Hello, hello, happy Monday, and welcome to Making Waves with Moanna Adams. I'm your host, Moanna, a teenage girl with a lot to say and a lot more to learn. Today, we are talking about all things college with Kira. Kira's going to introduce herself and tell us who she is, what she does, and all the things.
Hey guys, my name is Kira Doppel. I go to the University of Georgia. So today we're going to be talking about college apps and all sorts of good stuff. But basically, a little bit about me. I'm from a single mom. I have three citizenships in the US, Canada, and Serbia. And I love to travel. So I really enjoy that. And I play music. So I play the fiddle and I work for a nonprofit and am able to play a lot of music with a bunch of kids who would not have the opportunity to do so. So that's just a lot of fun, and I really enjoy doing that. And Moana and I actually met at our first pageant that we ever did, the Miss Georgia Teen USA pageant. It was literally the greatest time ever, and I felt like we got so close. So I'm so excited to be here today.
Yes, I'm so excited, and we're going to start with our current obsessions, and this is something about or in your life you're currently loving. And for me, that's Girls Girls. I have
Period.
just been loving after the pageant, meeting so many amazing people, of course you and some other girls that are coming on the podcast, and starting modeling. Just everybody's been so amazing and nice, and of course there's been a few that I'm like, oh, maybe not, but most people are so amazing and nice and so ready to help each other, and it's just my favorite thing right now.
No, seriously, I was talking about this with one of my coworkers. Some girls are girls, and the girls that are not, please become one because
Yes.
we love a queen that uplifts another queen. I just need that in my life. My current obsession right now is liquid blush and ginger shots. I am so obsessed. I love the glowy look. Some people will disagree with me, and that's okay. But the Rare Beauty blush, obsessed. Selena absolutely knocked it out of the park with that one. And then ginger shots, that's the first thing I drink every morning. I just need a little I can't do coffee. It makes me so sick. So I find that ginger and stuff will just wake me up and get me ready for the day.
I love my Rare Beauty liquid blush. It's the only one that I use. I use it all the time. It's so good.
It's so good. I am obsessed.
And then we're going to do our high tide, and this is a motivational, inspirational, or self-help recommendation. And this week, I actually have something a little bit different than normal, and it's trying different music. I think that music is so diverse, and there's so many different types of music that, a lot of people don't check out things that they're not used to. I have been listening to a lot of late 50s, early 60s, like Brenda Lee, Connie Francis, and I am loving it. It's such I call it my 50s housewife music that I put on when I'm cleaning and cooking. And I think that it just is good to get a spark of inspiration from something that's different than you're used to.
No, I so agree with that. I literally sometimes rediscovering an artist that you used to listen to a bunch, the words mean different stuff than all the lyrics now have different meanings, and kind of revisiting songs that you really didn't have any understanding, and now with more life experience you're oh, now I know what the singer's talking about, and it just helps you through all the big feelings that we all go through.
Definitely.
For me, I love watching the Hopecore videos. Okay, they make me weep. They make me sob, but in the best of ways. I literally never scroll past a Hopecore video. They just are the best. And even if I've seen it before, I will watch it 3 times and be wow, if this person can make such a positive impact in somebody's life, I can too, and so can the next person. And even if I just do small acts of kindness, really that can change somebody's entire outlook on the day or even in life. It's crazy.
Yes, I just recommended for a high tide a little bit ago an account on Instagram. I think you actually follow this account. It's Motiva Persona.
Yes.
Yes, I love that account. It's so good.
Yeah, they will post stuff and I'm you know what? A round of applause because I needed that today. And
Yes.
they're doing the small acts of kindness too that you really just need. Some people just need
Definitely.
to see that video. So I love it.
So let's start out with college apps and all the things. And I want to start from the very beginning. How did you know college was the right path for you?
That's such a great question. I was really debating. I come from like a big military family, so I was honestly for a minute thinking about going to like, maybe the Air Force or everyone in my family was in the army, but they're like, you're a girl, so like the army will be kind of crazy. Which you know what, girls can be in the army too. Period. But or the Air Force because they're like, you just could do a lot with that and then get a job after the military. Or like my grandpa went to West Point, which is like a military college. So it's still kind of like a college, but not really. And not that I was like really thinking about it too heavily, but I just for a long time could not picture my life after high school. I feel like that is such a big like problem. Like a lot of people can picture their life maybe in like 20 years, but not like directly after they get out of school. And that was a big problem for me. So I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to apply to places and try to like go visit. I think visiting colleges is like so important. Even if it's like one right by your house or like, you go on like a day trip with your family to go see this college, it's so important to like go there and visualize it in person because then you're able to kind of get a sense for what life would be like. And that's really like when I decided, okay, I want to go to college. Like this seems like a lot of fun. And I think I'd really benefit from it.
So, how did you choose a school that is right for you?
So I visited a lot of schools in Georgia and I wasn't really in love until I went to UGA. I got into Georgia Tech and I was diehard like, oh, like Georgia Tech is such a great school. I'm so going to go there. But when I went on a tour after I'd gotten in, something just didn't like quite sit right. I couldn't really explain it and it just didn't have I was going to go I think for like biomedical engineering or like something that I wasn't really that interested in, but still like could have gotten like a decent career in or something. But when I went and visited UGA, it just felt like so at home and comfortable. And I live in Atlanta, so I'm like used to Atlanta and I really wanted to explore like a real college town and just enjoy that.
So, UGA was never a dream school for you.
It wasn't at first. I grew up an Auburn fan, die hard. So, like, my mom was like, yeah, like, UGA sucks, boo. And I know that's, guys, don't come for me, don't come for me. But that's just how I grew up. So, I really did not, like, have any kind of idea of going to UGA. I almost didn't apply. But, it was in state, tuition is a hell of a thing. Use it, guys. Use it. It's so nice. And the Hope Scholarship is absolutely amazing. And the Zell Scholarship. They're just such great opportunities to pass up. So I really did not want to go to UGA at first. And I don't even think I decided on going to UGA until like the day of the deadline. And I think I cried after I did it because I just wasn't sure. And once I got there and like moved in, I was like, this is my home. I love this place so much. And now I'm like, I'm the biggest Go Dogs girl ever. I like bark. I do the whole thing.
I love that. So, what was the first step to apply? Like, what's the application process like?
So it really begins like your junior year when you're kind of doing all the ACTs and the SATs. I would say those are important, but they're like the least important in your entire application. I will be so honest. I think I got a 26 on my ACT. Literally not stellar. I have the worst ADHD out of anybody. You could probably tell by the end of this podcast, but it's actually terrible. So I could never focus on taking like standardized testing. Like it just was not for me whatsoever. Um, but just making sure you have like kind of average ish scores, like that you kind of like know what you're doing at least a little bit, but it's honestly like not the most important thing. So that's what I would say like your journey really begins. The most important thing will be like your essays. So like really getting like a list of all your accomplishments, everything you've done, everything that's unique about you. And it kind of feels weird to like write and talk about yourself, but like just getting comfortable with doing that and kind of like trying out different prompts and seeing like how you can take that and kind of twist it and make it your own. So it's another process in the college app. Yeah, okay. Oh, and then you basically like there's a part where you kind of like list all your like accomplishments today, like kind of like a resume or a CV for some colleges, and that's like really important. You really want to brag about yourself. Like you want to be like, this is why I would be the best person to go to this school and just list it. So you got to be comfortable talking about yourself in positive ways, which we should talk about ourselves positively all the time, but like especially for college apps.
Talk yourself up.
Mm.
So, once you get into school, let's talk about the transition from high school to college. What were some of the biggest challenges you faced when making the switch?
I was very homesick. So I didn't initially like join a sorority. I did not go through fall rush or anything or recruitment like that just because I was competing over in Ireland for the world championships, and then once I got back the day after, I moved into college and really did not have my life together. Like I think I just had sheets and like my clothes. And then I moved into school in my dorm. I know. She's looking at me like, "What?" Um, yeah, literally I had like no, oh, and a fridge, of course. The most important.
Nice. You gotta have snacks,
Um,
you gotta have food.
yeah, honestly that's really what I was thinking of. I was like, what am I gonna eat? I probably should have been thinking about a lot of other stuff. I will say for the first like couple weeks, it was definitely an adjustment period. And I think I cried like 4 times. I was like, why am I here? Like why did I go to college? I don't even know what I'm doing here. It's not fun. Um but like then I started to like make friends just in classes, and people would like reach out to you that you like wouldn't really expect, like people in your classes. It's basically like kindergarten, as how I like to explain it all over again. Like, oh, where's mom? Where's dad? Like, you don't really know. So then you kind of just like meet a bunch of people, share crayons, as I like to say, share pencils, and the rest is history. Some of my best friends, like right now, I literally miss them so much. And they're in Athens at UGA, and I can't wait to go back and see them. But honestly, like adjusting to college, it just takes time, just like most things.
So, I love the comparison of it's like going back to kindergarten. I love that so much. How did you cope with the homesickness, and like what are your strategies for when you're feeling down and missing home and your family?
I think I called my mom like 20 times a day. That's an exaggeration, but I would call her all the time, and she would like FaceTime me and be like, hey, like, it's okay. Like, everyone is going through this. Like, this is a new experience for everyone, like kindergarten. And you just kind of got to like find your groove, find your pattern, and just kind of stick with it until like, you start meeting people. And then once you've built that pattern, you can go out, you can like, go downtown, go hang out with your friends. And then it just becomes like life all over, like how you kind of are used to it being. But I would say like I called my family and talked to them like every single day, and that really helps with homesickness.
I love that. Just staying connected and keeping up with everybody.
Yeah, it's
So,
so
what are
important.
your must-haves for dorm college life? Like, what do you recommend when people are like, "Oh, I don't know what to pack."
Um, Pack medicine. You will get so sick. I've literally never been so sick in my life. And I know that sounds terrible and like makes you not excited for college, but it's just because you're around like so many different people. So that's really exciting. Dayquil, NyQuil, all the allergy meds, all the pain meds, like bring them. But also like know when to take them. Please don't
Let's be
overdose on.
responsible.
Let's be responsible. Please don't take NyQuil. Like, only when you're sick, guys. But you will definitely need it. I think within like the first 3 weeks, I had like the flu or something crazy, and then I had mono, and then I had like a crazy eye infection where I almost went blind. Orbital cellulitis. Look it up. Basically, it was like 5 hours. My eye went from normal to like popping, like bulging out of my head, swollen. I'll show you a picture. I'll send you a picture after this. You're gonna be like, oh my god. It
I've
was actually,
never heard anybody talk about that at the beginning of college, getting sick so much. That's very interesting to
yeah,
me.
it really happens. It's dorm life. If you're living in an apartment, it's probably different. But like when you're sharing, the same 3 bathroom stalls and 2 showers with like 36 girls, you're going to get sick. Like, somebody's going to get sick, then they're going to pass it to you, and that just happens. So I'd say bring medicine. Another thing I would bring would be a fan. Sometimes they have, like, in AC units, but sometimes they don't really work. So, like, if you need, like, a nice little breeze, like, bring a fan, period. It'll also help with, like, not getting as sick, I feel like. And then I'd also bring, like, some, like, comfort food. I just love snacks, and I think it's, like, everyone needs a snack. Please don't starve yourself. I love to eat. I literally was eating backstage at the pageant, like, the entire time. So,
Yes.
literally, like, the mini muffins were going crazy because I was chowing down on some food. And you really need to, because, like, you will never walk so much in your life once you go to college. I think I walk, like, 3 miles every day, going from class to class to class, and then, like, just kind of exploring campus. So definitely bring that, in a good pair of walking shoes, running shoes. Look cute, look snatched, but make sure you have that arch support, babes. Let's make sure we have the arch support for when, we're older and it's not going as good.
I love that. So let's shift over to academics. How did you choose your major/minor?
I was really, my senior year of high school, I kind of got into the film classes and all of that, and I really enjoyed that. My major is journalism, by the way. Let me start off, so then we get the whole picture. Specifically sports journalism. I've played sports throughout my entire life. My dad has qualified for the Olympics twice. So, like, my mom was a soccer player in high school. Like, she was insane. I just grew up around sports completely. Like, that was a big portion of my life. And I just honestly, like, have fallen in love with, like, the players of games, like, how our bodies are so capable of, like, achieving certain things, and how we can really, like, obtain certain skills by using our bodies. And I think now with kind of the way, like, cell phones are and stuff, like, we don't really, like, go out as much or, like, really push our bodies the way that, like, they were meant to be. So I just honestly fell in love with that. And getting involved with film, I was able to do journalism with sports and stuff, and that has just been, like, such a beautiful experience, because you really get to learn, like, so much about a person and so much about their life, and even the people who, like, support teams. I think, like, learning the player stories just as much as the fan stories is, like, so vital, and, like, really coming together as a community. And that's just a beautiful thing, truly. And that's kind of why I got into it, because so many people just need to watch sports, like, really just need that in their life, to see, like, competition, but, like, at its healthiest form. There have been, like, wars where, people, like, I think it was World War I, where on Christmas they literally, like, stopped to go play soccer together. Like, what? Isn't that, like, that's just mind boggling to me, that, like, this game could unite, like, two countries in the middle of a world war for a day, so they could enjoy something. And I just think that's beautiful and kind of overlooked. I think a lot of people want to become doctors or nurses, and I think it's really important to follow your passions and kind of, like, what you want to pursue in life. It doesn't have to be this great thing.
Finding something you're passionate about and that you are passionate about, not that somebody else is
Right.
pushing on you. How do you go about selecting courses, choosing, some colleges let you, some don't, choosing professors and things like that?
My professor is your best friend. Literally, like, people go crazy on that website, but for the right reasons. Some professors, God bless them, they're very smart, but they're not the best professors. And I think finding professors that can really relate to you is so important, and who are, like, understanding, is literally, like, one of the greatest things that you can have going into college, and, like, it being such a new experience. If you can't choose your professor, obviously, like, don't worry about it. It's not that big a deal. But if you can, I would say definitely look at Rate My Professor. Your academic advisor will help you with your classes. So, like, generally, your first year to 2 years will be kind of like general courses, depending on how many prereqs you come in with. So for me, I was lucky enough to come with some in with a bunch of prereqs and kind of knock out a bunch of classes, so I didn't have to take them again in college. So now, as a second year, I'm going into my major, which I'm like really excited about. But I would say like really listen to your academic advisor and really advocate for yourself. If you don't want to take a class and there's any way like you can take something else or try to do something that you're actually passionate about, like advocate for yourself. Emails, emails, emails. They will listen if you keep complaining, if you're persistent. I mean, they really will. They don't want you to leave the school because capitalist America, but like advocate for yourself and it will like truly pay off.
So, do you have any, once you got your courses down, you know who your teachers are, how do you prioritize your studies and what advice do you have?
Um, I think making a daily schedule. Like these are the things I have to do today. I want to do this. Like say there's like a concert you want to go to. Okay. You get done with classes. You're really tired. You really don't want to do the work, but you really want to go to the concert. So I kind of like to like reward myself with stuff. So I'll be like, okay, if I knock out this essay and this, whatever I have to do, then I can go to the concert and enjoy myself. But if I don't and I decide to take a nap right now because I'm beat down from the 3 miles I just had to walk, then I'm gonna have to write the essay while I'm in the concert. So really kind of just like really planning out your time. And it's hard. It can be really hard. Like there's so many times where I wanted to be like, oh, screw this homework. I'm gonna go like, I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna go downtown. Like I'm gonna go have fun with my friends. I'm gonna go to like this game or this concert. Um and then I'm like, oh no, I can't because I have to like gotta be an academic weapon. I'm just a girl, guys. Like, please,
Gotta
please
be
let me.
disciplined.
Yeah, discipline is really important. Um, yeah, I would just say really like plan out your time, and it doesn't have to be like weeks in advance. Like, just do it for the day. Like, wake up in the morning, go get your breakfast, and just kind of plan out what you want to do.
So, let's move on to the fun part, talking about, what we want to do. Let's move on to social life. How do you meet people and make friends?
Ooh, this is a great question. Some of my best friends I actually met on the first day of orientation, which I think is kind of a little bonkers. I did not think I was going to see those people at all because like basically they split into 20 groups on your orientation day and two of my best friends were in my orientation group and I literally would see them every single day. Every single day I saw them. And it was just so much fun. So I didn't see them I think for the first like couple weeks of school and then I was like, "Oh, hey, like we were together at orientation, you know?" Like it really kind of is like a bonding experience because orientation is crazy. Like you literally don't sleep for 2 days. You're just kind of running around and trying to get all this information in, so it's like trauma bond. Um but anyways, I really met them during orientation and, that was just like great to like see those people. Also like go knock on girls' dorms. Like, go knock on the next person's door beside you because some of my best friends, like, live like 3 doors down, and I'd go and be like, hey, can I borrow this? Or, like, hey, I need this. And, like, that's an introduction. And really, like I was saying about it being like kindergarten, when you're in class, like, you literally, like, will color stuff. Like, literally in Italian, we drew monsters and, like, described how they looked in Italian. It's the best thing ever. And like honestly, teachers want you to have fun. Like they want you to make friends. So they'll like split you into groups. And I just think like really like kind of stepping out of your bounds and like talking to people. Just talk to like random people because there's only like one or two people at UGA that I've met out of the thousands where I'm like, oh, I don't really want to talk to that person ever again. But everyone else has been like such a peach. And it's just everyone there is so kind, really.
So, why did you choose to join a sorority and what was the process like?
So I really didn't know if I wanted to do it. I missed Rush because I was in Ireland, like I was saying, for music. But I kind of felt like there was something, for me personally, something missing. I've always kind of had like more guy friends. I don't want to sound like that girl. Oh, you have guy friends. But I just do because I literally have three brothers. Like I grew up playing sports. I don't know. I really don't know why. Like I needed some like positive female energy in my life. That's what I needed. And so I thought like joining a sorority was like honestly one of the best ways to do that. For me personally, there's like many other organizations that you can go to do that, but I just thought, oh, I'm going to join a sorority because my mom and my grandparents and my aunts have all done it and they loved it and they said it was a great experience. And all the girls that I was friends with at UGA were in sororities and they loved it. So I was like, okay. So I did Spring Rush, which is actually so low key. If you're not really sure about rushing, but you kind of like want to get into a sorority, that's the best way to do it. It's just so nice. So I joined the Alpha Chi Omega sorority, AKO for short, in January of this year, and it has been such a blessing. Those girls are literally like the loves of my life. They're so sweet, so compassionate, and so kind, and you really get to give a lot back to the community, which I love, and like raise a lot of money and just really help out the people because Athens is actually the poorest county in all of Georgia. So there's like a lot of, which you wouldn't really think so, it being like such a big university, but it is like one of the poorest counties. So we just get to help the community out there a lot. And I think that's so, it's just a good thing to do in general.
How do you, being in a sorority, deal with comparison?
So a lot of people there's this thing called Greek rank. It is the biggest BS out there. Like, sure, some girls in some sororities look a certain way or some, but honestly, like, everyone's gorgeous, okay? Everyone's stunning. Um, Comparison can be a hard thing though, because like you'd be like, oh, there's like old rose sororities, which are like better sororities, or like some of them, like, oh, like they have money, they have this. I think my sorority, I'm biased, of course, but I literally think like our sorority is one of the most inclusive and like just overall like kind sororities. So like we really like focus on uplifting each other. And like when I kind of like see myself comparing like myself to other girls on like social media and stuff, or like, oh, like they did this trip, they went to like this amazing place, like they got to do this and this, that can sometimes be a little hard because it's like you obviously want to be there, like FOMO is a thing, but sometimes just like turning off my phone and like literally like touching earth, dirt, as I like to say, go touch some grass, is really helpful. Just like really kind of remind yourselves of like the things that are actually important in life and not kind of like these shallow materialistic things that we all are guilty of, myself included.
So, how do you maintain balance between being in a sorority, being a student, and all of your other amazing hats that you wear?
Thanks, Queen. It is definitely challenging. But again, just like maintaining your time is like super important. Like you really have to plan out your day. Classes are not that long. Like literally, there was one time last year where I only had to go to class from like 9 to 10:30, and that was my day. So I would knock out a bunch of homework that I had to do, or I would do, stuff for like a nonprofit that I had to do, teach some classes, for music, and then like do stuff with my sorority. So really finding like your kind of freer days, really optimizing those.
So, what are your favorite mental hygiene strategies and what resources are available to students on campus?
I personally love that Athens is so green. There's a lot of parks within campus that you can go to. And explore, and that kind of just really like helps clear your mental health. I would say like there's this one park in particular called Memorial Garden, and it is just one of the most beautiful spots in campus. Like they have a koi pond, they have like all these different like flowers and like butterflies and stuff, and it's just so peaceful, and it kind of like brings you back into reality to see like the most important things in life, and that it's not like all these things that we compare ourselves to. Like, it's not about how good you look, it's really about like the things that are alive. I know that sounds like so Bob Ross of me, but I can't help it. But for on campus, they have a lot of resources for mental health. There are a lot of people you can go talk to if you're like ever feeling down. I know there were, for my sorority, whenever one of our sisters was tragically murdered, there were a lot of resources available to us. That was honestly like so helpful that, you know, they really reached out and were really there for us during that time, especially for the girls that knew her like really, really well. But I think, yeah, like UGA does a really good job of helping you through difficult times. And, you know, every time you go to the health center, like they'll ask you through like, you know, anonymous reports and stuff, like how you're really feeling and get into the nitty gritty of like your real life.
You feel really supported at UGA?
I do. I think like they really care about their students, and you can really tell that through like the administration. Sometimes parking is a pain in the butt, but they really do care about us and they really do want the best for us.
How do you feel like since you've left high school and started college, you've grown over the first year in school?
I think I feel like a lot more mature, and I know that sounds crazy that it's only been a year and that it feels like that, but I really feel like I've changed a lot as a person for the better. You really get to meet people from all walks of life. Once you go to college, like you're in a school with 40,000 people who are your age. Not everyone is going to be like you or look like you or talk like you or dress like you. And I think that's really important, like getting to know people who are very different from you. And like that's been something I've been able to experience at UGA. Going back to the mental health thing really quick, I forgot to add this, but that's a reason like I didn't really feel so at home or at peace at Georgia Tech, because you can kind of tell, not to slander them, but that like they don't really prioritize their mental health. It's really just about the grades. Whereas I feel like UGA sees the student as a whole.
I love that. So let's move on to making waves. What waves do you hope to make on campus?
I would really love like if campus was a little safer for women, and I know they're doing like a lot of things right now to um, make that better. I've never really felt unsafe, but there is a lot of crime in Athens sometimes. So I think just really like making sure that like everybody feels safe no matter where you are. If you're downtown, if you're on campus, if you're going for a walk, like I really want to change kind of the way that women think about like going for walks. Like I know we have to be in a buddy system, and that's terrible. Like I recently saw a TikTok where it was like girlhood is like learning to never have to like never walk by yourself or to like scratch them, so like you have DNA under your fingers. And seeing that and reading that outside of those situations is so scary, because like we really do have to learn all of those things. And I just think that's like ridiculous, and I really want to change. Honestly, I want to change the world, but I do want to change the world. I don't think like girls should be concerned about what they wear. Like if you want to wear a crop top and booty shorts, girl, go wear a crop top and booty shorts and not care like what everyone is going to think, or if you're going to be like attacked or something. That's terrible. And I really want to like get rid of that stigma.
I love that. That's something that I'm also very passionate about. What advice would you give to young girls starting college, interested in going to UGA, and who's gonna start going out on their own more and needing to deal with these things?
Buy pepper spray, buy those like little cat claws or whatever. um I think those can like honestly like sometimes make you feel safer. Never walk alone, always be in a big group. Sometimes just like if you are with a big group, having like a guy or two in that group can really like deter people who have like kind of ill intent. which is stupid, I know, and I hate that we have to like whatever, but it's just true. It could be like this scrawny's little boy, and literally like that'll be like, oh yeah, I don't want to mess with them. I've definitely seen some stuff in Athens where, like I've had to step in and be like, hey, like she said she doesn't want to go with you. Back off, buddy. And I think there is such like a good system of girls there at UGA because it's like I want to say 60% women at UGA, and like girls are the best. Like they will help you out time and time again, and that's just really what I want to do. And try and be that girl if you see that happening, or if you are that girl, try not to like get into situations like that. And I know sometimes that can't be helped, but really like staying in a group is so important. I cannot stress that enough.
So, looking back, what is one thing you wish you knew when you started college?
um that nobody knows what they're doing. I literally like what I would compare myself to all these girls who like, they're generational like UGA students, and like they know every restaurant, every bar, they know like where to go or not to go, what's cool, what's not cool. They didn't. Like looking back, they did not know that. And like everyone, that's just like 1% of the entire UGA community. And sometimes that 1% can be like so loud and influential that like a lot of people kind of compare themselves to that, and I think that's like such a terrible thing. So don't do that, because literally like everyone is experiencing this for their first time, even if they like been to Athens or their older brother or sister went to UGA. That's like, but they haven't gone there, so everyone's in the same boat.
I love that. They still don't know what they're doing.
That I still don't know what I'm doing. Like, what is college? I still have to register for one of my classes, so
So, how do you stay motivated and inspired? What keeps you going?
I think like looking at people that you want to be like. So like looking at previous alumni, I really love Maria Taylor. Like she is like such an amazing sports journalist, and she is like um a wave maker in women in media, especially. And she actually went to my high school and she went to UGA. So I would just like love to become her. Not become her, but become like her in my own way. I just think she's like so smart and so influential in the best ways. So that's really how I keep myself motivated. And I also, this sounds bad, but sometimes I'm like, I don't want my life to be like this. Like, I want to be able to go out and like go traveling and go experience this or this, and not have to worry about it financially, and not have to worry about um like the world is so big, and sometimes I feel like people really compartmentalize themselves in the city they grew up in, and sometimes I wish like I could take those people and like take them to like a foreign country or somewhere like they've never seen before, like just to show them how big the world is. I think people forget to dream, and that's the saddest thing about growing up, is like a lot of people forget to dream. So never forget to dream, because your dreams are important. You can fail at doing something that you don't even want to do, so you might as well pursue your dreams.
I love that. Having a strong role model and dreaming big. So, as you're going into your second year, right, at UGA,
Yes.
what new challenges are you looking forward to?
Ooh, I'm really looking forward to like actually taking classes in my major. I think it can be really boring when you're like, you feel like you're taking the same English class that you've already took in high school for like the past 4 years. So I'm really excited to kind of venture into something that I've never really done before, and meeting new people. And I'm going to be living in an apartment this year by myself, which is actually crazy. I still can't believe that's happening. I've literally been working like so much this summer to like afford it and pay for it. But I literally, you're going to have to come visit me, by the way. I literally cannot be like more excited to kind of like live by my own and experience that.
So, how do you plan to continue making waves in the future?
I want to start a self-defense kind of group for girls. I'm still trying to figure out how to do that, and I'm still trying to figure out like how I want to go about that. But I kind of want to do that. I also am like working for this nonprofit called the Phoenix School of Irish Arts. And it like teaches a bunch of kids Irish music, and like that was just such a safe space for me. But I really want to bring it to kids who would not have the opportunity to learn music. I really want to like emphasize on that aspect of it and kind of really like bring music to underprivileged communities.
I love that. So let's close it out. And where can everybody connect with you and learn more about your work?
Yes, go follow me at KiraMar17. That's my Insta. Or go follow the nonprofit. It's at the Phoenix School of Irish Arts. And yeah, like go follow me on my pageant journeys. I'm trying to get more into modeling. Like my Queen Moana here. So yeah, go follow me and like follow my music journey. I'm headed back to the World Championships of Irish Music this Saturday. So we'll see how that goes. I'm really excited.
Good luck. All of her
Thanks.
links will be in the episode notes, so you can go and follow her. And for this week's homework, if you had to start over, what are the first steps you would take, or what can listeners do right now to implement what we discussed?
If I had to start over, I don't think I would, because all of my like obstacles have really brought me to like where I am now, and brought me closer to the people I needed to be closer with. Sometimes you really have to experience like the lowest things to really appreciate the highest. If there was one thing I could change though, it would be to not compare myself. Guys, don't compare yourself. I'm telling you now, nobody knows what they're doing, not even your parents or your grandparents. This is like, I saw like a thing where it's like, this is your parents' first life too. And that is crazy because it is. They've never experienced like parenthood before, so give them some slack. Give your parents slack. If you're an angsty 13-year-old and you're listening to this, give your parents some slack. Go eat dinner with your family.
Yes, it's everybody's first time living. Let's give them some grace.
Yes, grace is so important.
Well, thank you so much for joining me.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Of course, and thank you for listening. If you love this podcast and you want to show your support, please leave a rate and review, as well as follow me on all of my socials at the moannaadams or at makingwaves.ma. Be sure to follow this show so you never miss another episode. Don't forget to drink your water, and I will talk to you later.